Good evening, sorry, good morning, good afternoon. But yeah, it could be good evening, depending on where you're going to be watching this from once you do tune in. Welcome, guys, to my YouTube channel. Welcome back. It's the 27th of December 2021. We are literally a few days away from the new year. And so I really hope you guys have had a good Christmas break. I hope you enjoyed your Christmas. I hope you enjoyed your Boxing Day. And yeah, so today we're on the 27th, gearing up for the new year, excited. And I didn't manage to do my weekly analysis on Sunday, hence why I'm actually doing it today. So, the market is now back open. It had closed for the Christmas break holiday. And so I was also on a break. I'm still on a break, literally, honestly, until the new year. Like I said, I was a bit exhausted last year and I just needed a break from the charts. But that doesn't mean that I've not been keeping an eye on the market as well. So what we are looking at today, what I'm looking at right now, like I said, we're in a live market right now, is gold. So I'm going to start looking at gold first. And what we see with gold is gold has really been bearish, okay, like on a longer time zone or a time frame. And we see that we broke that bearish move like a couple of weeks ago in November. We pushed up, we broke structure here, and then we pushed back down, retesting previous levels of demand. So, but technically, I'm still feeling like, there's a potential. I mean, unless gold breaks below the 1681, I'm still generally bullish, okay? So that's on the weekly. So we see that in the last 2 weeks, gold has actually been very bullish, okay? And we can see that the week, it kind of opened bullish, but then on the lower time frame, you can see that it got to some supply zones and began to shift again lower. So what we are seeing now this week is we are now kind of trending lower. So if I go even, if I look at the 5 minutes, for example, you can see this a bit more clearly. We can see this more, at midnight, gold kind of like pushed up, okay? We opened up here, we dropped, and then we retested this zone again and then pushed up, and now we're just like tapering out. And there's a potential that we could actually even just get to the 1798 zone, okay? But generally, even on the lower time frame, we're still stuck in this kind of, range, okay? So for me, I'm still kind of bullish. I'm just seeing like gold is just coming to retest this zone and possibly continue, okay? But there's a potential that it could break below and actually just try and attempt to come lower and, retest zones below here at 1790, 1792. So if at all gold does break down, okay, 1792 will be a good place for me personally to get out of the market or sell and then just wait and see. We need to continue to break lower because yes, on the higher time frame, we can see that we do have a lot of pending liquidity downside. Okay. And so, I won't be surprised if we try to grab all that liquidity. I'm not sure it's gonna happen soon, but like I told you guys, I've been bearish. But when we kind of pushed up, we kind of broke that bearish move. So for me, this was a retest, and I just feel like we may again try to retest these lower zones, but I'm still bullish longer term, just because of this price action here. But let's see on the daily how things are looking. So yeah, we can see that we grabbed liquidity here on this 15th of December. We dropped and took out liquidity, and then we pushed up. So I feel like we still have this zone here at 1801. We may be trying to retest this demand zone before we continue to the upside. Okay, so that's really my take. 1849, 1870, let's say 1880 levels, longer term, maybe even 1900. That's really what I'm gunning for. But in the intermediary zone, you may see these pullbacks happening. Okay, so in case you're looking at gold, that's my take. Now, let me look at GBP USD. So if you're here for the first time on my channel, maybe you don't know this, but I usually like to trade a couple of pairs specifically. I don't trade the whole market. I only trade a couple of pairs, and as I've just looked at gold, it's obvious that I actually like to trade gold. And then I also like to trade GU, GJ, US 30 as an index. That's basically it. Euro CAD, the euro side of things. So when I'm looking at GU also broke structure. It finally stopped dropping. GU was on a really long downtrend. All the way from October, GU has been dropping, and then finally we found a bit of an accumulation zone here on the daily. Okay. And what I'm seeing is, so we pushed up, we kind of broke structure here, and we may retest this zone as we continue up. So I feel like when I'm looking at GU, I wouldn't be surprised if we do attempt to, shift lower, attack some of these demand zone levels below here, before we continue to upside, just to make sure that things are, we shift up nicely. So I'm looking at retesting the 1.33628 zone, okay, which is not too far, which is about 28 pips, maybe all the way to 100 pips on the 1.32726 or 133 zone, okay? 133,000 zone. So that's a potential move that may happen, okay? But, when we shifted up, we kind of, began looking bullish. So this could just be a retest, and the nearest retest is possibly 30 pips away, maybe 100 pips away. So that's on GU. I am, kind of now leaning on a bullish kind of move, but as you can see here, what's happening. Let me see the lower time frame, like shorter term, what's really happening. So we see that we just retested these zones, these demand zones, okay? We didn't quite break structure here, so I'm still thinking that we shall still try to push up before any down move happens. But what we see is we were shifting lower, we took out liquidity here, and then we pushed up, and we've just been retesting zones on the higher bit of it. But after we took out this previous high, possibly this was a liquidity grab, and all that. So I'm still bullish. There is liquidity downside, but like I said, we would just go like about 30 pips, and then we continue shifting upside. That's what I'm really looking at. So GBP, JPY, looking bullish as well. We broke structure here, took out these highs here. Then we have retested. I think we've not quite retested it, but I feel like, there's potential to push lower. Okay. Potential to retest that zone, maybe push lower, grab liquidity downside of about 60 pips before we continue moving up. But literally, we've been in this, it looks like a distribution phase, kind of. We took out this high, but then there was a bit of accumulation here happening. But I'm feeling like, we could see some rejection here and then a down move. Okay, so there's a supply zone happening here on the lower time frame. So my anticipation is we're just going to start dropping and then maybe take out these lows, okay, before we resume the uptrend. So that's GJ. US 30, let's look at what US 30, how the market is moving. So similarly, US 30 is for me still bullish. We kind of broke structure here, pushed up, tapered down, retested the zone, and just pushing up, forming higher highs, high highs, high highs. And I feel like there's, pending activity that needs to take place up here. So I feel like we're still bullish on US 30. What you need to do is just look at potential entries. Maybe if you look on a higher time frame, you can see what's happening. In higher time frame, the weekly, we are bullish. We are definitely bullish on the weekly. We're looking very bullish on the daily. We're looking very bullish on the 4 hour. Similarly, but on the lower time frame, there's potential to, push lower, mitigate previous demand levels, okay, before we continue to the upside. So that's potentially what could happen. So let me look at EuroCAD. EuroCAD, is looking interesting. Let me go on a higher time frame. EuroCAD, a lot of rejection upside. EuroCAD, really attempted to break the 2020 low and failed, and so just kind of just giving you an idea of how strong this level is. Like, if we do break this level on EuroCAD, then it's gonna be a free fall, So for now, we're still kind of, we're still looking like, we need to retest zones. We've left a lot of liquidity upside. So I'm bullish on EuroCAD. Like, I would really just want price to take out all these highs here before we see a nice drop. So, but I know, like last week, the week ended bearish. Okay. We've kind of opened with a bit of, tug of war between the buyers and the sellers on weekly. If I look at the daily, we are seeing retest of previous levels and zones. Whether we crack these zones is another thing, but I'm bullish on EuroCAD. I'm very bullish on EuroCAD. Let me look at Euro AUD. Euro AUD is looking interesting. Euro AUD is actually looking, Euro AUD has also been trying to, drop, trying to push lower. In Feb, that's the lowest we got. We took out the lows of 2018, and we've just been playing around this zone since 2021 February. But we are still scaling lower highs, and there's pressure, there's selling pressure, there's a lot of it. But the buyers are still in control. I anticipate that we're just going to kind of push up. That's really what I'm seeing. I just feel like this was kind of to this take out buyers, premature buyers. And now this is when, really is a nice time to start buying. We are in a demand level on the weekly. Let me see on the daily. Yeah, so daily is also giving me the same vibe. I feel like we've just hit a demand zone and we are going to push up, although there's selling pressure. I mean, there's a lot of selling positions in the market. If I just look at the flow of orders in the market, we're looking at, very bearish here. So the market has overall been bearish, but I feel like the buyers are beginning to find their footing, and we may see some struggle, maybe even attempt to push lower, but I'm still kind of looking like we are going to push up. Let me look at AUD USD. Yeah, so AUD USD now is looking bearish to me. I feel like there are these levels here that we may attempt to breach. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we came back to the 0.66965 level, which is like what? Like maybe 500 pips away. That's a lot. Let's even say on a near term, about 200 pips thereabout, or 150 pips. I feel like, let me even look at it on the shorter time. Maybe we have another 70 pips, retest. So I think you can literally sell AUD USD for like 60, 70 pips. And then we're in a demand zone right now, and then I think once it does that, it's gonna go up, but right now it's pushing down. So guys, I think we're good to go. Let me look at BTC USD. Usually do this on a different call, but since we're here, I just want to see what's happening to Bitcoin. So yeah, so BTC now is looking like it's pushing up. Okay, I've been bearish on BTC. You guys know that. I ain't gonna even pretend about it. So you can see, like, this has been my original analysis since November. I've been bearish on BTC since November, and you can see if you jumped into a bear move in November, you made a lot of there are a lot of points here that you possibly gathered, thousands of points. So that being said, we are retesting a zone up here, which is basically the break of structure when it broke structure here. So it's just retesting. So I'm not yet convinced, per se, that BTC wants to break to the upside. I just feel like this is an obvious retest. Okay. I'm still bearish on BTC. I still want to see Bitcoin drop. Okay, you guys can see my chart. This is a very important zone. There's liquidity in this zone. So unless we break out and retest and don't break back down, I'm still bearish on Bitcoin completely. So yeah, so I think maybe on a different call, I'll look at a couple of other cryptocurrencies and do a nice analysis for you guys. But I hope this has been of value. Again, if this is your first time on my channel, please do me a solid like and subscribe, and also click on the notification bell so that anytime I do post up any new content, guys, you're updated in time. But for now, enjoy the rest of your holidays, and let's see you guys in the new year. If you're trading this week, have a fantastic trading week, and see you soon, guys. Bye bye.